For days, we have been pointing out that President Trump, the self-proclaimed wartime president, has avoided mentioning the fact that more than 150,000 people in this country have died on his watch. So far, he rarely, in any detail, even mentions the dead. But in an interview released today, the president is asked about the daily death toll. More than 1,000 Americans now dying a day. And his response, 5 words. It is what it is, he said. It is what it is. That is our consoler-in-chief. That is his message to the mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters and children and friends of all those Americans who have died and all those people still reeling from their loss. It is what it is. It would be a cruel and heartless thing to say if it came from any individual, but it didn't. It came from the most powerful office holder in the world, the president who early on, for crucial weeks, the month of February, ignored the spread of this pandemic, saying it was going to magically disappear, and who continues to claim, as you will hear, that it's all under control. It is what it is. That's what he said in a new interview with Axios. And there are so many outrageous and embarrassing and wince-inducing comments from the president in this interview that we want to show you a number of portions of it right now, because until you see it, you might actually think that this is a joke. You might actually think it's some sort of a skit, that it actually didn't happen. When asked about John Lewis's legacy in this interview, he has no idea. And then he talks about how Lewis didn't come to his inauguration. His embarrassing lack of knowledge about mail-in votes is revealed. For all those conspiracy theorists out there who believe he's secretly waging a war against child sex trafficking, he once again said about Jeffrey Epstein's former girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, who's charged with 6 criminal counts, that he wishes her well. It's the second time he's wished her well. If this interview was on the HBO show Veep, you would think it's too ludicrous, but it's airing on HBO on a news program, and it really happened. It is what it is. That's who he is. It is what it is. What are you going to do? 160,000 dead, 150,000 dead. What are you going to do? It is what it is. I want to begin with the full exchange in which the president uttered those 5 words.
We had a tremendous crowd. We had tremendous response. You couldn't even, it was like an armed camp. You couldn't even get through. You couldn't get anybody in. But we had 12,000 people. It was incorrectly reported. The other thing we had that nobody wants to talk about, so Fox broadcast it. It was the highest rating in the history of Fox television, Saturday night. It was the highest rating.
Mr. President.
My speech, well, wait a minute, you're saying something.
Yeah.
That speech was the highest rated speech in the history of Fox television on Saturday night. And nobody says that.
I think you misunderstand me. I'm not criticizing your ability to draw a crowd. Are you kidding me? I've covered you for 5 years. You draw massive crowds, you get huge ratings. I'm asking about the public health.
And I canceled another one. I had to cancel it. Right. We're going to have a great crowd in New Hampshire, and I canceled it for the same reason.
But here's the question. I've covered you for a long time. I've gone to your rallies. I've talked to your people. They love you. They listen to you. They listen to every word you say. They hang on your every word. They don't listen to me or the media or Fauci. They think we're fake news. They want to get their advice from you. And so when they hear you say everything's under control, don't worry about wearing masks, I mean, these are people, many of them are older people,
What's
Mr. President.
What's your definition of control? Yeah. Under the
it's giving them a false sense of security.
Now, I think it's under control. I'll tell you what.
How? 1,000 Americans are dying a day.
They are dying. That's true. And it is what it is. But that doesn't mean we aren't doing everything we can. It's under control as much as you can control it. This is a horrible plague that beset us.
It is what it is. What are you going to do? Again, more than 156,000 dead, possibly 231,000 by November, according to the latest IHME model. Record unemployment, life as we know it turned on its head. No assurances life can never go back 100% to the way it was. It is what it is. Imagine any wartime president actually saying that, any real wartime president saying that. President Lincoln, after the huge death toll at Gettysburg, it is what it is. Pearl Harbor bombed. FDR asked about it. Well, it is what it is. After 9/11, President George W. Bush climbing to the top of that rubble in Ground Zero, his arm around a firefighter, grabbing the bullhorn, proclaiming to a nation now at war. It is what it is. This man has no plan. He is reeling day to day, as he has his whole life, leaving bankrupt businesses behind. More than 6 months into this pandemic, and he has no comprehensive national plan. Just promises that something great is about to appear, like P.T. Barnum, like his always forthcoming health care plan. Remember that one? It was going to come, and it was going to, as soon as the Obamacare was eliminated, his health care plan was immediately going to take place. Immediately, it was just going to switch right over.
We are in the process of developing a strategy that's going to be very, very powerful.
Yeah, we're in the process, July 21st, of developing a strategy, and it's going to be very powerful. You know, it's been 5-6 months, but we're developing the strategy, and it's going to be powerful. We're still waiting for that powerful plan, Mr. President. The only plan, again, according to President Trump in that Axios interview, is to make sure that when we judge this president on Election Day, that we're looking at the right metrics, the ones that he likes, not the ones that actually tell you what is happening in this country, the metrics that could embarrass him, like testing.
When can you commit, by what date, that every American will have access to the same day testing that you get here in the White House?
Well, we have great testing. We're doing, and
by
many
what
other
date?
people do. Let me explain the testing. We have tested more people than any other country, than all of Europe put together ×2. We have tested more people than anybody ever thought of. India has 1.4 billion people. They've done 11 million tests. We've done 55. It'll be close to 60 million tests. And, you know, there are those that say, you can test too much. You do know that.
Who says that?
Oh, just read the manuals, read the books.
Manuals?
Read the
What
books.
manuals?
Read the books.
What books?
What testing does wait a minute,
who
John.
said-
Let me explain. What testing does, it shows cases. It shows where there may be cases. Other countries test. You know when they test? They test when somebody's sick. That's when they test. And I'm not saying they're right or wrong. Nobody's done it like we've done it. We've gotten absolutely no credit for it.
The manuals, the books. We've gotten absolutely no credit for it. For a man who seems to prize strength and power, have you ever heard someone as allegedly powerful and strong as he claims to be, have you ever heard someone whine as much as this man? It is what it is. Let me play the last portion of that first exchange again, because at the end he also says something that's also telling.
It is what it is, but that doesn't mean we aren't doing everything we can. It's under control as much as you can control it.
It's under control as much as you can control it. Mr. President, no, it is not. It is not under control, and it's certainly not as much as you can control it. An entire block of your voters believe that mask mandates are an affront to personal freedom. And this president has encouraged that thinking. From the moment he talked about the CDC recommendations on wearing masks, he has undercut them. It is, if it was anybody other than a president of the United States doing that, you would think that that's criminal. He's out there now, even now, these months later, knowing full well of the death toll thus far, though he rarely talks about it because, you know, it is what it is. What are you going to do? He's out there now telling us that children are virtually immune. They aren't. They get the virus, they pass it on, people die, or their lungs are permanently scarred, or they have heart ailments for the rest of their life. It's under control as much as you can control it? That is just, that's a lie, and it's an excuse. More people wearing masks and social distancing would control it better. So would better contact tracing and testing. You've been claiming this is under control since the beginning.
We have it totally under control. It's one person coming in from China. We have it very well under control. We have very little problem in this country at this moment. We have it very much under control in this country. Very interestingly, we've had no deaths. The coronavirus, which is, you know, very well under control in our country. And everything is under control. I mean, they're very, very cool. They've done it. And they've done it well. Everything's really under control. It's something that we have tremendous control of. And the crisis is being handled. We are likewise getting under control. We have embers, and we do have flames. Florida became more flame-like, but it's going to be under control.
Under control. That is President Trump, the same unflagging belief in only himself. And saying whatever he wants to say, it's under control. It is what it is. A man who will not change.